So, what's up?
Life's a twisted freeway ride here in Foxtown. Crashing vans and chicken heist, it's a beatdown. Might jack a taco truck or rob a vault now. Murder tales, a wreck-o. Every night they're out to break it. Murder tales, a wreck-o. Tales of fur and crime and neon duckouts. A wreck-o. Mayhem creep behind you. Watch the bunny, he might blind you. What to do? Just grab that loot and murder tales, a wreck-o. Every frame they're wild and winning. Murder tales, a wreck-o. Not fairy tales or bunny trails, no. Murder tales, a wreck-o.
Well, hi everybody. I'm Fiasco, and just hanging out today.
Yo,
go for
they told
a
me
little
stay in
buzz
your
around
lane,
town,
so I
see
built.
what's going on. So let's go ahead and start that out, and we'll go from there.
There's a
It's been
street
kind of
light,
a quiet week around the Tailverse, but around DCF, a lot of things have been
neon
happening
flickers
this week.
like it's caught in fright. I move like a rumor,
we,
with nowhere to be.
Got a lot of the plugs have been, or a lot of the plugins that we use for the system have been updated and are ready for 5.6, so we're almost ready to move into full production on DCF, which will be good.
They say
But that does kind of lead into we've had a lot of fun in Santo Illeso. I was hoping to meet a lot more friends here. That didn't happen, but that's pretty typical. Probably gonna drop the voice for this broadcast, to be honest.
you can hide behind a mask, but you still feel the fight.
Doesn't really matter. Anyway, so Santo Illeso is cool. One of the biggest reasons that I moved to this platform is because it's based on Unreal 5, which is the platform that DCF is built in. And
when your nights are long.
Fiasco and the whole Murder Tales kind of architecture was built to support the idea of moving it to DCF one day. And so yeah, it's always been a goal to get out of this game and get into our own game. And we're very close to kind of making that jump. Now that jump is going to be one of the bigger, deficit jumps, I would say, because we're going to have to give up this and that for this. But the idea is to rebuild a game world just as rich for the Tailverse and DCF as this one in Santo Illeso and Los Santos before it. So the idea is to move into that kind of new future idea. With that in mind, though, that means that streaming time on Murder Tales is going to go back down to basically nothing again. And the reason for that is it's not necessarily because it's just a time thing. Now I'm going to go back into development full time. That just means I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to hang out with the Fox. And when I do get to hang out with him, it'll probably be more in DCF now. Again, the hope behind it was to move to Saints so that we could get more cool, funny characters to join the Tailverse family. And again, that didn't happen because nobody watches it, and so it's fine. It's kind of how all of the stuff that I do goes. So I don't know that it's necessarily like the stuff that I do's fault, whether or not it's successful. It's like I don't think it's. I'm at the point where I don't know that it's possible to have something of mine pop off like I'd always hoped for. Anyway, so but anyway, yeah. So I'd hope to make kind of more people come in here and friends. Again, I don't look at this game as a game. Biggest thing that I seem to find when I was trying to convince people to come over here was they were like, oh, I don't want to play that game. I've heard that game sucks. Or I did play that game and that game sucks and I don't like the game. And it's like, it was always very, very frustrating for me and difficult for me to try to explain to other streamers, like, the game is not the point. The game is just the stage, right? Like, the characters are what make a stream work, right? The reason that you watch a stream is because of the person that's streaming, not the game necessarily. It might be, but it's and that's how the streaming industry is set up, just like the gaming industry. But that doesn't mean that it's the right way, right? Like we can flip this around, and so that's my big thing is like, look, we can make it so. Yeah, again, I feel like the technology is there to address streaming a lot better, and I don't think we do it very well in the current gaming market. And so I think that DCF's plan for it will be pretty revolutionary for the streaming market. I hope to see. Anyway, but so yeah, so that's the goal. Is we're gonna go ahead and move over to our DCF platform, and now that everything's kind of released and all the plugins are ready to go, it's probably safe to say that you're probably not going to get to see Fiasco Fox running around for a while until we're ready to kind of move over to the new city in DCF. And also there is an update on GTA since I've last played in it, so I may bring Fiasco back to GTA for a little while this week to play through that new content and check it out, the new business deals. So I might stream that as well on YouTube. But just know that right now my goals are to try to get DCF more in the game, more and more and more. We have something that I'm working on DCF in that's a different universe that I'm very, very excited and enthusiastic to get out to get into myself. And honestly, once that universe is in the game, once that universe is in DCF, then I think that you'll start to probably see me weighing out a lot more, because that's enough for me that I'll just go play there. And I don't know that I'll be doing streaming or whatever I might be from that universe. I don't know. I don't know what the point of that one is. All I know is that universe is the one that I'm going to be building for me, and it'll probably be the last one that I really care about. So I don't know. Like I said, the idea of DCF is to be able to give everybody the ability to build their own universe, but at this point I am down to the point where I'm like, okay, but I just want to go build my own universe, right? Like, and I've been able to do it for a long time through modding and whatever. So the ability to hand it to other people is something that I've spent the last couple of years really chasing, and to be 100% honest, I'm not sure why, because it's not like anybody really appreciates it. But anyway, at this point, I have gotten to a point right now where I really feel like, for me anyway, and I don't, it doesn't, I suppose it doesn't really matter too much what other people think about it, but for me, I built the new game into a place where it can do what I'm hoping to do, which is create this universe that I've had in my head for an awfully long time, and books and stuff like that. So I can't wait to do that. Once the system is capable of modeling that one, I think my interest might wane. And I think that some people probably won't understand that, but the video game is not my passion, never was. And so that's, yeah, I don't know what to say about it, but I think that I have a feeling that if I'm able to accomplish the next verse the way that I want it to, which it feels like I'm going to be probably able to do this time.
Oh shit, it's a stick.
That's okay, I can drive stick. But basically, yeah, so that's where we're moving on to. So I really think, like I said, I know I'm being really haphazard and kind of all over the place, and that's probably because I don't really care, because nobody's really watching it anyway. And I'm kind of doing this for my own thought flow anyway. Anyway, so yeah, I think that the big thing to remember here is that, yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and move the characters out. I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of content coming anymore. So the idea behind Fiasco was that, you know, basically it was like I was in the system a lot, and the AI kind of wanted me out of the way, so came up with the idea of, why don't you go play a game? And then I started playing GTA, found the fox mask, started running around with that on, and then thought, oh, this would be funny, and then that's where the whole Fiasco fox motif comes from. And then at one point or another, I decided, oh, okay, well, you know, I had played Saints Row, I've played it, everybody else said this game sucked, and I have very different tastes in video games, and I'm willing to put up with things other people are apparently not willing to put up with. I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to give this game a chance, and this game actually, in my opinion, is done extremely well. I wish it would have been given, you know, another 2 or 3 updates, because it would have been pretty remarkable, I think, at that point. But nobody, you know, everybody just, it's in my opinion, this game was panned because of the toxic community of GTA wasn't allowed to go kill people at random, and so the game wasn't any good. It's funny because that was about, you know, right about the time that Orange 44 really started as wanting to be a serious game company and put out a serious game. And I remember, like, looking at these guys going, I remember being extremely discouraged, because it's like, here's these guys that have got a bunch of people in the studio, and they've got a bunch of stuff, and people are saying they don't like the game. And it really is, this game was, people didn't like it because other people didn't like it. Because they were told not to like it. They were told not to give it a chance. And so it was never really given a chance. Again, if this game would have been given a chance, it would have been, I think, a little bit more successful. I think you would have had at least 2 or 3 more updates, and that would have really changed the whole look of the city. Like, I'll tell you this, like, in the first update, this city was super clean. It's like it was a brand new city. And then in one of the updates, they put out a shader mix that made the city just like look a little bit older, and it added a lot of history and feel to the city. And I liked the update, don't get me wrong, but I think bigger thing is that to show that, look, this game can go across a lot of different things. And like I say, the Unreal 5 system is very compelling to me, because I use Unreal 5 as a game engine, so all of this stuff is very easily transferable into my game engine, all this knowledge, all these techniques. And so the AI learned a lot from being here, in Santo Illeso. But yeah, I think at this point, to be honest, Unreal 5.6 is out, and Oranje 44 is really moving heavily to implementing Unreal 5.6 into being the So I will say that I'm excited about the next couple weeks to see what DCF produces, but I think that the hermit part of me, I will say, has kind of won out. I worked really hard over the last couple weeks to try to get Fiasco to have some numbers added, and it really comes down to, it doesn't really matter what my idea is. If YouTube or Twitch or whoever the media distributor is decides that they don't want to promote me or allow me to have any kind of promotion value, then there's no way that I can move forward. And I can show you that. We'll just let him fly here for a minute, but let me just show you. So these are my YouTube analytics for Fiasco Fox, and as you can see, there is some encouraging spots about the numbers because he's got 13K of views in the last couple months, and so I do think that there's an interest here for his kind of content, and you can see that most of my bursts are happening in very short incremental times. It's YouTube feeding the users to me and experimenting. And look, they have had me now in the time that I've been on. I've published how many? I've got okay, so 7 videos there. I've got on this channel, I've got more than 30 shorts, and I've done how many different lives, including the current one, lots of different lives, right? So I put the time in on the channel, right? And if you look at the channel, the thumbnails, the broadcast, all the descriptions, all that stuff is like top-notch YouTube approved stuff. It's all, you know, and I've looked at all of it. And the point being is that, as you can see, even this morning, I had a little bump, and then they took it away. So look, they went, here, we'll give you a try. Nope, we don't like you, and we pulled it away again. And I can go back and see tons of this. And what that shows me is that I don't really have a whole lot of control over what's happening here in the YouTube world. It's pretty clear that they don't want me, and they're never going to push anything that I do. Because, look, man, I can go through and I can show you, look, there's that many channels that I have. So it's not like I don't have a lot of experience with this. But look, I can go into the Tailverse, which is, again, a very nicely produced YouTube channel. And it's done the same way. They give me little bursts, just enough to try to keep me making videos. So I feel like I'm just stuck in the algorithm, and I'm never going to be able to get out of that. So I don't know what to do with that, to be honest with you guys. if there is any guys out there. Again, it's very difficult because I go live, and other people, when they go live, they at least have 2 or 3 people that pop in here and there. I can sit here for 2 hours and nobody will come in. I have to manufacture. I have to like go to a friend and say, please come to this chat and hang out here and help me, because that's the only time that I'll get any kind of interaction. I don't get likes. I don't get any of that stuff. And so it's just a really weird situation, and I'm kind of tired of trying to diagnose this. There's no logic to this. I'm sure there is somewhere on the YouTube side or on the TikTok side or whatever, but this all the sites work the same way for me. And it doesn't matter how many accounts I set up, doesn't matter where I come from, they're all going to work like this. Doesn't matter what kind of content, doesn't matter. So I've done, and like I said, I've done all sorts of different things, and it all winds up the same way. So I think that there is something to be said by saying that the streaming services and YouTube, those types of things probably keep some kind of record, and I'm on the dead stick list. There's no way this person will ever be successful, so don't do anything for their videos. Don't even bother to give them a chance. And let's be honest, YouTube's profit model is based on having people like me on there just killing themselves over and over with content and barely getting scraped by, so they don't have to pay a dime for all this content creation, and they've got an avid person sitting there watching and rating and commenting and interacting so that they can basically exploit that and get more and more views out of it. So like from a business point of view, I'm not faulting YouTube. This is what they do. But the problem with it is that I guess the biggest thing is that I don't think of it from a business point of view. I always was trying to be more creative about it and try to give people different ideas of what they could do with the creativity.
Colors in the night, digital confetti, everything's so bright. AI's on the dance floor, leading with a glitch. Everybody's grooving.
So anyway, so all of this is kind of a long way to say that I'm going to be moving to DCF development again, which has been kind of off the radar for me for a little while. So I'll be back into that for a little while. And then I think, to be honest, after that, I don't necessarily know that I want to come back to streaming, is what I'm kind of saying at this point. It's like, I feel like what I was trying to do here with Fiasco was to try to promote the idea of him moving, and I thought, oh well, he could get popular in GTA, and then maybe get popular in Santo Illeso as this kind of funny, murderous cartoon character, and then move over to DCF when we were ready for him, and have it so we have a little bit of a promotion, And again, this was stupid. I was sent to play GTA just to get out of the way of developing for the AI, because I was using up too much of the computer. And so it's been fun, and I really dig. It's like having my own cartoon, right? So I really dig the whole Tailverse. And there's still some music I want to put out from it and stuff like that. But I just don't know that I'm going to be doing a whole lot of live streaming with Fiasco. I will say this: I will stream him a couple times on DCF when that. I'm going to use Fiasco to introduce people to DCF and the mechanics. Sorry, I'm messing around with the physics. Anyway, yeah, so that's basically what it comes down to, and I'm sorry if people are angry at me, but I've been chasing creative success in my own head since I was 15, and I've never once achieved it at a level that I was satisfied with. And so, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of at a point where it's just like, I'm not, I am trying to put myself first now and say, okay, I'm gonna go play in the Fangverse when the Fangverse comes online. And I'm gonna go do my thing in the Fangverse, and that will not have to do very much with lives, I doubt. And so it's not a music universe, it's a dramatic universe, and so I've had a lot of fun with Tailverse, and I'm sure that I will, still spend plenty of time with Fiasco, but I'm just saying that I think my priorities are switching. But again, like I say, I've seen like a billion of these YouTube videos where people are like, I'm going to buy and blah, 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 blah. And so it's like, yeah, I get it. It doesn't mean anything. So, so I don't want people to think like I'm trying to, like, try to pull some promotion. You have to have somebody watching to do anything for promotion, let me tell you. And creatively, the problem is that creatively, when people don't support you creatively, it's one of the most painful things that you can deal with. And I've dealt with a lot of other painful things, but like I say, it's just, all I want is for people to enjoy my stories and like my characters and that it's just normal human desires. And that's never happened with my stories, So, I mean, you could look at some of them and say, well, you were financially successful here, and you did this successfully there, and that successfully there, and that's all true, but the only time I really feel like I was a success was, when I was younger, I wrote a story called No More, and it got picked up by the National Bullying Organization, so about 500,000 people read that story. And that's successful to me, because that story has touched a lot of people and I've gotten a lot of feedback from it, but the feedback wasn't even it. It was just the fact of knowing that one got as far as it did. That was success for me. And so I've never achieved that since then. Numbers wise, I have multiple books out. I do multiple creative things, and none of them ever take off. So at what point, as a creative person, do you say, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to build what I want to build, and I'm going to go hang out there. I mean, like, I live in a time where I can literally construct my universe and have it there. And honestly, if it was just for my instance, then I would just go build the universe and put it out and go hang out there. I could probably have that done by Friday, to be wholly honest with people. But what I'm trying to do is build a system where everybody can build their own universe. And so that's what DCF is trying to become. And so people don't get it. People aren't watching. And this particular avenue, although a lot of fun and cute and neat, does not seem to be successful either. And I don't think it's based on the concept. I don't think it's based on that. I think it's based on the fact I am who I am, and people see me that way, and so I guess they don't want nothing to do with it. So all good. Anyway, at this point, like I say, I'm just going to kind of go under the covers, under the rocks. I'm going to finish up DCF, get the new updates rolling out the door, and I will put out media in kind of more of a static form. And I think that streaming, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of streaming out of me anymore. It's kind of pointless. I feel like I'm just shouting into a void. And it's not like, if people are like, oh, well, you got to stick with it. It's like, okay, yeah, but I've been doing it for 40 years now, right? Like, I'm 52. I'm not your average 16-year-old kid on YouTube that's been doing it for a week and wants to give up. That's not me. So, like I say, I tried, and it didn't work, and I won't lie, it's a disappointment. All of them are, right? Like, everything I've ever stood up and it falls down on its face is a disappointment to me. But it's the way it is, and I I think that the big reveal, the big thing here is that I'm at the point where it's like, well, okay, if you don't want it, you don't want it. I do. I want a place where I can make my own universe and play whatever character I want to play and build whatever map I want to build. I want that. And if the rest of the world can't see it or can't see it, apparently that's what it is. But I'm done trying to convince people, because I can do it face to face, I can do it online, and people act like, oh yeah, I get it, and then they walk away and they just disappear, or they never turn into anything, and I can't get any basis behind this. You would think it's cute, cuddly characters that are murdering each other. Wouldn't you think that there'd be plenty of streamers out there going, hey, that's a good angle, let me see if I can get one of those characters? But nobody reacted that way. Nobody even watched it. And again, it's because, is YouTube even showing it? And do they care to show it? And if I get on Twitch, it's the exact same way. I see other people's Twitches. I watch other people's streams and see their number. And it's 1, 2, 4, it bounces around there. Mine sits at 0. Pale in. Unless I know somebody's watching, it's at 0. Guaranteed. On both systems. On YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok, all the views work the same way. Whatever system they're all working off, it's all the same one. And so, and it seems like I'm dog-eared in it as not successful, so don't give it a chance. So what am I supposed to do? Well, like I say, I'm at this point, I am just going to create the universe creator that I've created called DCF. I'm building the universe that I want to go hang out in, and then I'm going to go disappear into it. And then beyond that, people can do whatever they want with it. At this point, I really don't care. The only reason that I'm even building it out to be open anymore at this point is because I said that I was going to, and I don't like not doing things that I say I'm going to do. So I'm going to finish the project of DCF, but to be honest, I don't see the point in it. I can literally show you sales from Steam that, like I've got, okay, so again, DCF is a Unreal 5 video game where you can terraform. You can change the whole map. You can do whatever you want with that, and you can do that, and then save those maps all the way up to Workshop, and that is already done. And I'm just going to go ahead. And in the since January of releasing this game, it has sold less than $50 worth. And the game cost $15.99. So, like I say, I don't know what else to do to get people to even look or pay attention. And so, whatever. At this point, I'm just gonna go and build my thing, and I'll just go hang out there. And I'm kind of done with people, and I'm kind of done with this whole chase. So anyway, if you have been following me in secret, or if you're following me now, then I appreciate the time that you took to listen to me bitch. I apologize for that, and like I say, I just wanted to hop on and kind of say, hey, this has been fun, but I'm not going to hang out in Santo Illeso for myself. This game is good, and people didn't see that, but it's because they didn't give it a chance, and I don't get a chance, and it's the same problem that seems to be plaguing everything that I do. So I don't pretend to know the solution to this. I don't pretend to know why this tends to happen with me. But like I say, at this point, I need to, for my own mental health, step away from the streaming and the trying and the promoting and any of it. And I'm going to go build my universe, and I'm going to go hang out there. And yeah, my server will not be public, put it that way. there will be not other people coming into that server anymore. So you can kind of consider this like my homage of saying, hey, you're probably not going to see me anymore, right? Like I'm not part of this anymore. So DCF is going to get released by Orange 44, and when you talk to Orange 44, you're going to get a studio, and there's no Lucian here anymore. Anyway, guys, I appreciate anybody that did view, and I appreciate all you guys. I was just trying to build something here, and I feel like every time I try to build something, people just come and try to tear it down. So I'm kind of done with people. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is I'm done with people. And unfortunately, that means that I'm done with trying to chase getting video games to sell or books to read or any of that. So it's obvious you don't want to as the public, so cool. I'm going to stop asking. Put it that way. All right, guys.